What is up, YouTube? Holy Peps here. We're going to be going over the patch notes. This is patch 5.16. I'll have a link in the description. But, yeah. So, I'm just going to do a quick overview of the updates. So, first off, as you know, Juggernaut's now a thing. It is now in the game, and it is freaking awesome. They've updated Darius. Darius is really broken as is. Now they're just like, make him a lot better. So, pretty much to sum it up, they did a massive change on his passive hemorrhage. So if you basically kill someone with 5 stacks with your ultimate, or just applying 5 stacks to them, and then you do a basic attack, from what I'm reading, it applies max hemorrhage to the next person that you attack, which pretty broken, because then you can just R them and it does a ton of damage. Now, in the video, I believe it showed that if you killed someone with your R, it would just automatically pass hemorrhage stacks to someone near them. But I think they reworked it to the point where you actually have to attack now, which again is still really good. I've seen a few Dariuses go really positive. Like they just became absolutely broken in the game. They're running Ghost now instead of Flash. I don't know if that's an actual thing, but that may be because you actually want to basically use your ultimate, get a kill, and then go and attack someone. Once you get that one attack, they get 5 hemorrhage stacks, which does a massive amount of damage, plus then you can use your ultimate again. So Decimate is now a charge spell. It basically just, instead of immediately spinning instantly, it now has a small delay, which now is not really that big of a problem. It's overall, it's just really good as is. And as you can see here, they basically make it where, yeah, Noxian Guillotine, beyond broken. Kill one, get one free. Wow, that's just so nice. And they made it kill one, get one free. Multiple cast does not actually cost mana. That was because Darius was known to be kind of a mana-hungry champion because his ultimate cost 100. You'd kill one, you'd kill another, but you'd have to have like a ton of mana in order to get the pentakill. Which, it's just... that's so disgusting, man. So disgusting. So, Garen is kind of getting a rework. It's kind of nice. His silence has been reduced to 1.5 seconds from 2.5 seconds, which is a slight nerf, but it really doesn't... It doesn't mean... Or I shouldn't say, it doesn't matter that much, considering that, they also reduced the movement speed buff, because it was pretty ridiculous. You would go attack Garen, he would silence you, and then he would run away. And it's like, come on, Garen, man. Really? You're just going to do that all game? And basically they removed his tenacity, which is really annoying, and changed it up to Courage. Courage passively killing units permanently grants 0.25 armor and magic resist. 1 kill on champions, large monsters, or epic monsters to a maximum of 30 at all ranks. Which, that's pretty good. That's free 30 magic resist, 30 armor. I think it's probably going to get boosted because it's not that amazing. But considering that there's like Scion and there's like other champions that actually can get infinite. So I think that's kind of cool, but I wouldn't say it's just like that significant for an actual ability. His Judgment got a little bit of a buff. So it's basically cooldown reduction is down to 9 seconds. As you can see here, the Q got nerfed, but the E got buffed, which is nice. Judgment spin permanently increased levels at 1, 4, 7, 10, 13. Just some random stuff. So basically, they upgraded Judgment. If you cancel Judgment, then what happens is it basically lowers the cooldown. And then the thing that we all really want to know is Demacian Justice. So if someone's labeled as a villain, they take bonus magic damage, or bonus damage of additional 1% of their maximum health as true damage. That means that if you're marked as a villain and you're versing Garen, you are going to die if he hits R. Like, that's a ridiculous amount of damage that you're going to be taking. So, Garen's really good with the R. I don't know about all this stuff before he hits 6, but his 6 is, like, really stupid now. Skarner, one of my favorite champions. Skarner now has a new passive, Crystal Spires. Whenever Skarner's in the game, there's spires all around the map. You can run up and take vision of them. It gives him a mana regeneration, which, mana regeneration, guys, mana regeneration within the Spire. So that's really awesome, and it also gives him a movement speed buff. So, and it grants vision. So this is perfect if you're wanting to invade a Skarner, because there's a Spire right next to the enemy's red and blue that you can take, and it'll give you vision, and it'll also give you mana regeneration. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, just, oh my gosh, this is just freaking awesome. So they kind of nerfed his Q, and they removed no longer increases movement speed or attack speed. So right here, just basically some scaling ratios. It's not too bad. They're nerfing his damage a little bit because they added in a lot of HP items that basically are for low damage tanks. And guess what Skarner is? He is a low damage tank. You usually go Trinity Force and maybe Black Cleaver on him. Well, they added a lot of new items that are perfect on Skarner. You might not get the Hydra, but that item that gives plus 25% of your base AD, that's pretty good on Skarner, considering it gives also 400 HP and a 30% maximum health shield, which Skarner is a tank, 4.5k maximum health shield. That's pretty OP. E-Fracture, Fracture Missile speed decreases for each champion hit. That's kind of weird. So basically, each champion, okay. Afflicting targets with Crystal Venom for 5 seconds, causing Skarner's next basic attack to deal. Okay, that's pretty cool. So basically, if you auto attack after you land the E, it stuns them for a second. That's pretty good. And crystallization, the enemy's fraction impaled Skarner, buff near the crystal for the duration, disables cooldown. That's pretty cool as well. So just some nice things added to his E. His E now just got like 3 new abilities, so that's pretty damn good. And ultimate impaled no longer deals extra damage to units unaffected by crystal venom. Yeah. So now it deals 100% of Skarner's total attack damage at the beginning of the end of the spell. Huh. That'd be kind of crazy if you went like full AD Skarner. But I feel that's just to basically do a little bit of damage, because considering Skarner hasn't been played. He hasn't been played for a very long time, and Riot's now wanting to make him like really good. So they're basically giving him multiple setups, which is really nice. I played Skarner before I did the patch notes. I really liked him. You're going to see a Bronze the Challenger episode on him sooner or later. Mordekaiser. This is actually very weird because I've already gone against a AD carry Mordekaiser in plot, and I at first thought it was joke. I thought it was like really crappy. And I was playing Kale, and then I was like taking the bottom inhibitor turret, and Mordekaiser did like 35% of my HP with his Q, or not his Q, his E, and then just attacking me. And then he hit Q, and he did the rest of my HP bar in one hit. I was like, what the hell just happened? All he had was a Trinity Force and a Rylai's, and I had a lot of damage. So like I can kind of understand that I was pretty glass cannon, but he still did a ridiculous amount. And everyone on my team was like looking at that. They're like, the hell just happened? So it wasn't like, oh yeah, well, it's to be expected. It's like, no, that shit doesn't happen. 65% of my HP of nothing. That's pretty broken. So basically, they made his W kind of weird. So basically, this can only be used on his ghosts or on another player. So this means that he's losing ability if he goes in the solo lanes, which he could only use on his jungler for ganks. So that's kind of weird. His E now basically scales a little bit off of AD, which is kind of cool. And his ultimate now can be put on Dragon. There's a few other abilities that you can read in the patch notes. Again, I'm just going over a quick overview. One thing I do want to say is his Q is absolutely broken. And just overall, he's good, but it's kind of weird. They want him to be played as a bot laner. So you could literally go support Mordekaiser and go really heavy damage, but then you don't have any CC. So going 80 carry Mordekaiser is the best option, except for the fact that you don't have any range other than your E, which I wouldn't really consider it that good. But it's something to consider. It's anti-meta, and people like anti-meta. So basically they buffed a lot of the armors for all these champions right here, which is really nice. As you can see here, Braum, Leona, Yep, Leona needs more armor. Nautilus, Taric, Rammus, Amumu, Tom Kench, Alistar, Bard, Thresh, all got armor upgrades. Taric's getting a rework. Rammus just got a pretty significant buff, so we're going to be going over that. Ahri's Essence Thief got nerfed, which, okay. It's... I'm not really seeing like the massive brokenness of Ahri. I don't know, maybe she's getting picked up in the pro leagues again, but she's just really not that broken in my opinion, but maybe she's like winning tournaments really hardcore. Alistar now his W is now slower, which is kind of lame. That's kind of his main combo. Again, I haven't been seeing Alistar really used that often. Again, I don't watch the LCS like 24/7. Usually, these patches revolve around what's getting played in the LCS because the LCS is just huge. So if something's really broken or something that's new that's been shown, example, when in Season 2, you're always going to hear Season 2 because that was such a big season. But in Season 2, they had Urgot, and everyone made fun of Urgot. Everyone said Urgot was like one of the worst champions. And then a pro team, I can't remember which pro team, basically picked up Urgot and put him solo lane against a 1v2 situation. And guess what happened? Urgot absolutely destroyed the tournaments. Like, everyone was like, Urgot? 1v2? Are they trolling? And then Urgot destroyed. So, what happened next patch? They nerfed the shit out of Urgot. Urgot did not last that long. So, that's why a lot of the stuff that you see, if you don't see it actually being broken in basically like just general gameplay, then it's most likely because it's something they figured out in the LCS. Azir, I like Azir, but I do not like the fact that they removed the knock-up on Shifting Sands. I really think that was important. Azir now collides with enemies at a distance of 150, so I guess maybe they brought back his knock-up. I don't really know. I haven't been playing him. I did read the last patch notes, and I could have sworn they said they removed it. But who knows? Maybe someone can leave me in a comment down below saying, hey, if they did it, if they didn't, I can always check, but it's not really that important to me. Elise just got nerfed. Again, Elise was really good. Her mage form was really good. Her spider form sucked. That's how Elise was played. And now they made her mage form like lower damage. It used to do 8% of the maximum health. Now only does 4% of the maximum health. That is a 50% nerf. That is huge. My personal opinion of Elise was she wasn't really that scary. I was seeing her in Platinum Elo every single game, and it wasn't scary at all. You would just run her over. It's like, okay, you go in as Elise, you can do damage, you can like out-trade anyone in a 1v1 scenario, but when it came to team fights, you can't do shit because the second you go in, everyone's going to focus you and you're a glass cannon. So if you go in, you're going to die, and if you stay back, then you're going to watch your team die. That's how I saw Elise. That's how every Elise played when I was versing her. Maybe in Challenger Elo, like I know Medios, he went and played Elise even when she was considered like one of the worst champions in the league, but it didn't matter because he knew how to play her that well. Maybe you can still play her that well. I think that she's not that good. There's other junglers that do her job better. Example, like probably Kha'Zix would be better. Kassadin Riftwalk. Okay. Now has additional scaling of 0.2 ability power. Extra stacks of Rift Block now add 0.0% ability power per stack. So this means that if you're playing Kassadin, buy Tear of the Goddess. It just got paired with the Kassadin that... I think he's in the Gnar video. That he didn't... Well, maybe he's not in the Gnar video. But he didn't buy Tear of the Goddess on Kassadin. It's like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You gotta buy Tear of the Goddess. Like, that's kind of Kassadin's main thing. He's very mana hungry. And Kayle. They nerfed Kayle, man. They nerfed her so hard they removed 5 attack damage. Yeah, no, they didn't nerf her at all. So, they're looking at Kayle. The reason why they're not nerfing Kayle is because they're going to nerf Devour. It's going to happen. They bring in something that's called AFK Jungle. They let it settle for about like 2 patches, and then they talk about it, and then they're like, we think this needs to be reworked because we totally weren't expecting this when we basically made this item. And what they do is they basically just nerf it, and they remove it from the game about 2 patches later. Which, yeah, you're going to say that that's stupid, but it makes the game entertaining. The reason why League of Legends is such a good game is because they constantly rotate their items. They constantly make something OP. They constantly change something that basically changes all the entire gameplay. Like, think about this. Irelia Jungle would not be a thing. Kayle Jungle would not be a thing without Devourer. No one would have tried it. Well, I like Runeglaive Kayle, but a majority of people would not even think of Kayle as a jungler. So Devourer opened up a lot of opportunities, which allowed more players to have fun, and that's what Riot's all about. So that's their thought process. Lee Sin's getting a buff? Huh. The bigger they are, every champion that collides with a target now takes 15-18% of their maximum health. Wow, that's actually pretty cool. That is a... Damn! I like that. Because his R would actually hit people and do like lots of damage, and it's like, whoa, that's pretty cool, man. That's kind of cool, but it wouldn't do too much damage. It'd be like amazing if you can get an ultimate or get a kill off of it. But now they basically are giving it a huge reward, which is really nice because Lee Sin, he's not that good of a champion in late game. He's actually probably one of the worst late game champions, and that's the problem with him. He has the most ridiculous early game, he has a decent mid game, and then he has the worst possible late game, which the only thing he can do late game is basically go in, insect, and then ult basically a carry into your team and then get the kill. And most likely he's going to die, or he's not going to be really that relevant compared to other junglers. So that's the main problem with Lee Sin. He just falls off really hard. LeBlanc, I could have sworn like 3 patches ago they just nerfed her missile speed, but they brought it back up, so that's something. Now she's a little bit faster, but 150, I don't really know how much faster that is, but it doesn't seem that significant. Lissandra. I like this. Basically, it now heals her, which is really, really, really nice. And it heals her for 0.3 of her ability power plus 1% of the 1% of your missing health. That's pretty good. Like, Lissandra really isn't played too much. She was actually generally played as a top laner. Last time she was actually a meta pick. And now this is just giving her more of a reason to come back into the meta. And I think she's a really good champion. I like playing her as a mid laner. But you can play her effectively as a top laner. And there you go. You have now a heal on yourself, which is really, really nice. So that actually makes more of a reason to go tanky Lissandra. So Lucian's actually getting a buff. One of my diamond friends was like, Lucian buffs, man, because that's one of his favorite champions. And light slinger shot always now does 100% of minions. That's cool. 0.5 at all ranks. 0.6. Oh, okay. So it went from 0.5 to 0.6. And that's not too bad. Ardent Blaze, movement speed 60, 80, duration 1 second, and mana cost 50. Lucian take my enemy. Lucian teammates can now also... Oh, that's awesome! So you can use your W, and if your teammates attack, then you get the movement speed buff. That is really cool. That is something that supports can like easily abuse, which is nice. Oh no. Wait, what? Oh my gosh. Why would you do this, Riot? Why? Why did they need to buff Nasus? Despite his infinite scaling late game, the lady face had never been Nasus' best friend. What do you mean it's never been Nasus' best friend? You pick Nasus against Irelia, you instantly win lane. You pick Nasus against Maokai, you instantly win lane. You pick Nasus against like quite a few champions, and you instantly win game. Nasus versus Wukong, insta win game. Now you're buffing Nasus's Q range? That's stupid. You have... Okay, not only do you have a broken Q, you have the best slow in the game. Wither is just downright cancer. You have an E that does magic damage up the yin-yang and also removes armor, which is crazy. And then you have an ultimate that basically increases your Q range and does AoE percentage health damage, I believe, or just magic damage in general. Why on earth would you upgrade the Q range? That is broken. So broken. Passive Tides, movement speed now 60, ability power ratio up to 0.2. So what this is saying is I need to play AP Nami top. That is what this is saying. Wave Raise. Surging Tides movement speed. Now bonus is doubled with allies within the tidal wave. That is kind of cool. Rammus is awesome. He's kind of like a cheesy champion once you like get him down, but when you're versing like a full 80 team composition, he's almost insta-win. Because you just taunt like the Zed, the Talon, or you taunt the 80 carry Draven, and they just kill themselves. It's kind of funny. You get Thornmail, you hit W. Now they increase W's damage, which it might not seem like a lot, but that is a lot. 65 instead of 55. That's 10 more. That's nice. That's really nice. Rumble Equalizer now 100 seconds. Drag and drop now starts 150 units closer to your cursor. Okay. Which, that's not too bad. I don't play Rumble. It's not really that scary for me. I do know that his Equalizer is pretty important for team fights, so it makes sense that they buff it up. Or not buff it up, but increase the cooldown. Tom Kench prioritize champions over minions. Okay, that's kind of cool. Enemies now regurgitate on a stun for 0.25 seconds. That's kind of cool because you would like pick someone up and they just flash away. Now they're stunned, so they can't just instantly flash, which will then allow you time to capitalize on them. Enemies warning particles now spawn 1 second later. Previously spawned enemies. All right. Alright, removed. That didn't last long. Noxus Trap Slow no longer decays. Just delete Teemo from the game. Just remove the Son of Satan. There's no reason why to have him in the game. Teemo is just now broken. Enemies poisoned by Noxus Traps are revealed for its duration. I could have sworn this was already a thing. Maybe they removed it a long time ago, but I remember a long time ago it used to always show up because you'd see them hit the shroom and someone would appear on the map and they would die. It'd be pretty funny. Q Ambush has now got reduced, and Rat-a-tat-tat is now bonus attack damage 40. I haven't been seeing any Twitches. Twitch is like one of those 80 carries that I think he got a rework and then basically no one played him. It's like, oh, Twitch was really, really good. Then they nerfed him a few times, and they're like, yeah, we're not playing Twitch anymore. So Victor's been pretty out there. He's been considered really OP, so basically now they basically shifted all of his AP to late game rather than early game. He'll now have more AP late game, but early game he won't have as much AP. That way he won't snowball his lane, and that laser is just absolutely ridiculous. Vel'Koz buffs, because we all love Vel'Koz. At least I do. Plasma Fission, reactivation time 0.25 seconds, which is really nice. And secondary shot range up to 1100 from 900, which is really nice. That just means that it'll go a little bit farther, and then you can basically shot. Or actually, wait. No, it won't. It'll go the same distance, but it'll just go a little bit farther when it breaks apart, which is nice. I like that. Volibear. Flensed lightning. Upon activation, lightning chain will outward from Volibear once and deal damage. Huh, that's kind of cool. So now it has like an AoE thing that went on the activation. And Zac now has a pretty significant range upgrade. So on his E, his range was pretty good. Like, I didn't notice a problem with it, but now it's out to 1800, which is insane. And our death marks. Reactivation time 1 second all ranks, down to 0.5 seconds at all ranks, which I don't think it used to actually have a reactivation time, but they did it 2 or 3 patches ago, and then they basically, I guess, nerfed it down to 0.5 seconds. Basically, that way you can't just go spam crazy crap, do faker stuff. No one wants to verse faker it with that's just no. Deadman's Plate's been around since the hotfix. It's pretty good item. It's good for like champions like Udyr, Gnar, anyone who basically wants to, like, you want to move with a movement speed. It also does a little bit of damage, which is pretty nice. Stark's Gauge, I believe. Really good item. So broken on Skarner. You get this item. It gives you a giant 30% of your maximum health shield. And also increases your size by 25%, which really doesn't... No, it doesn't really matter that much. And just overall, the number one thing I want to say is plus 25% attack damage. That is crazy. So I could see a team composition with full tank Riven actually work because of this item, which you don't want to see full tank Riven. That would be scary. Black Cleaver? Okay. Stark's Gauge? Okay. The HP Hydra item? Okay. Riven's fair! No, just no. Titanic Hydra, 3,300 gold. Time Mat Giant's Belt plus 400 gold. Health 400, attack damage 50, base health regen 100%. Unique passive cleave. Broken. So it now does plus 5 plus 1% of your maximum health to your primary target. So this is basically made for champions that are basically really tanky. So again, Riven with this item and all other items beyond broken. I don't really know if that's true or not, but like I'm just saying it could be broken. Someone will have to test it out for me. Warbog now is actually pretty good. So it now has a base health regen of 200% and unique passive Warbog's Heart. When you have 3k HP, it now gives you 3% of your maximum health per second when damage hasn't been taken, which is pretty awesome. This with Garen is beyond broken. And just some price changes. And yeah. Also, just the major thing is they they boosted them, or they lowered the magic resist on Lock of the Iron Sorry, and they boosted the magic resist on Banshees and Spirit Visage, which is pretty cool. Anything else that really matters? ZZ Rot's Portals kind of trolls you. It's not really that meaning. Frozen Heart got a nerf, but it's not that. Oh wow, I actually got a significant significant nerf. It's now to 2600 instead of 2450, and they reduced the armor, so that's a double nerf. Now reflects additional 0.2. What? Oh, okay. For a second there, I thought nothing changed and they added that, but okay. Additionally, deals 0.25% of your bonus armor as damage to the target. I was gonna be like, they buffed Rammus, and then they buffed Thornmail to the point where like Rammus is just like the best. He's like king of the castle. But no, they didn't. Sadly, they actually nerfed it to 15% rather than 30, because I was already looking at Rammus, and I've seen videos, and I've played Rammus, and it's like, when you're versing a Draven, and Draven just hits you one time, and it does like a quarter of his HP too, you just feel good inside. And when I saw that Rammus buff, I was like, I hope it now does 50%. But no, sadly it doesn't. This actually might be really good, especially against a full AD team where you're stacking armor upon armor upon armor. That's going to be pretty crazy. Randuin's Omen is now 2,700 gold, 400 HP, 60 armor, and now reduces incoming critical strike damage by 10%, which is, I guess, kind of cool. Righteous Glory is now 2,400, and yeah. Arcade Riven, which I already did a gameplay for, and Battle Boss Blitzcrank is pretty awesome, and the Academy skins, which is, again, pretty cool. So this was a much longer video than I intended. I actually thought this was only going to take about like 3 or 4 minutes, but I feel like this has taken at least 8+ minutes. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to comment, rate, and subscribe, and peace out.